Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this afternoon edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this afternoon, so let's begin. First up, live at 3 o'clock p.m., Governor to announce when Seacoast beaches will reopen. There have been 3,935 known COVID-19 cases in the state. Governor Chris Sununu is holding a briefing Friday afternoon to give the latest updates about the state's response to the coronavirus crisis. The briefing is scheduled to begin at 3 p.m. It will air live on WMUR TV and stream above this article at that time. As of Thursday, there are 3,935 known COVID-19 cases in the state. 9 new deaths were also announced, bringing the state's total to 199. Manchester man, 29, with no underlying conditions in COVID-19 related medically induced coma. Father fighting for his life. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Siobhan Lopez.
When you cut lawns for a living, reliability matters. The Kubota commercial lineup with purpose-built mowers like this.
Corey Martin is a husband, son, and proud father.
He's such a great dad. He's the best.
He's very caring, and he's always willing to help everybody and anybody.
He is just 29 years old with no underlying health conditions. But when COVID-19 swept through Hampshire House, the halfway house in Manchester where he works 60-hour weeks, the virus got to him, progressing from neck pain on May 3rd to a point last week where his family didn't recognize him.
He was pale, his lips were white. His fever was 103.7.
He couldn't trust himself.
Corey couldn't breathe. They called 911.
Less than 24 hours later, he had to be put on a ventilator.
Corey's family says doctors diagnosed him with respiratory failure COVID pneumonia. He's in a medically induced coma, but hospital staff at Elliott Hospital FaceTime them every night.
Not being able to be there has been the hardest.
Corey's wife, Crystal, and their 6-year-old son, Logan, both tested positive for COVID-19. And even though Crystal has asthma, neither of them have shown any symptoms.
We just want to make it known that just because you're young and healthy does not mean that you can't get sick. Because my husband's literally fighting for his life, and he's healthy.
The family knows it's a long, uncertain road ahead.
We can't fathom losing him.
They're grateful for all of the support they're seeing, but just can't make sense of what is happening.
I wish I was in his place. I do. And my husband said the same thing. It shouldn't be him. It should be one of us.
In Manchester, Siobhan Lopez, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Now let's take a look at your COVID-19 in New Hampshire information, what you need to know. And here is that information for all of you. COVID-19 in New Hampshire. There are 3,935 number of people in New Hampshire who have tested positive for COVID-19. 1,620,204 number of people in the United States who have tested positive. 199 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 393 number of people who have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 96,282 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. And now let's take a look at this map right here. Current cases of COVID-19 in New Hampshire. Manchester, 534. And let's take a look at this map here. Total cases of COVID-19 in New Hampshire. Manchester, 955. Now let's take a look at this chart here. New cases each day in New Hampshire in the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalizations, and in the red are the deaths. Let's take a look at this chart here. Current cases in the purple, total current COVID-19 cases, and in the orange, current hospitalizations. Let's take a look at this chart here. Total cases in the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases in the purple. In the orange, total hospitalizations. In the red, deaths. In the blue, recovered. And now let's take a look at this chart here. Age group of cases. Female and male. And risk information. And now let's take a look at this chart here. Race/ethnicity of cases. Hospitalizations. Deaths. In New Hampshire, percent of population. And again, your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, chills, and difficult breathing. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. Man seeks return of sentimental items after Farmington storage unit broken into. Family pictures, World War II photos among missing items. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Attention to detail. That's what sets Kubota construction equipment apart. It's how we maximize performance, increase strength, and give you the dependability you demand. We engineer our equipment precisely at every level. It's what makes us a leader. Now get financing as low as 0% APR for up to 60 months. See your local Kubota construction equipment dealer today.
A Farmington man is asking for the public's help in getting back things taken from his family's storage unit. The robbery happened at a facility on Sarah Greenfield Way. This veteran, who was injured in a devastating house fire more than a decade ago, says he wants things back like his children's artwork, family photos, and his grandfather's military discharge papers. He wants them all back, and the medals too. The man is offering a reward. If you have any information about the theft, you can call Farmington Police.
And let's hope he gets those sentimental items back.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And let's take a look at that U.S. stock market. Dow falls 150 points, and U.S.-China trade tension still up big for the week. Stocks dipped on Friday as tension between China and the U.S. offset the increasing optimism around a potential coronavirus vaccine. And Lori Loughlin and her husband set to plead guilty. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
A major development in the college admissions bribery scandal. Actress Lori Loughlin and her husband are now getting ready for prison.
This morning, actress Lori Loughlin is fessing up.
Any comments at all?
The former Full House star is set to appear before a judge today and admit her guilt in the college admissions scandal, despite spending more than a year fighting the charges. She and her husband, fashion designer Massimo Giannulli, are accused of paying $500,000 in bribes to the scheme's mastermind, Rick Singer, to get their daughters admitted to the University of Southern California by having them pose as recruits for the crew team, even though neither had ever rowed.
I don't really care about school, as you guys all know.
For months, they insisted the payments were legitimate donations and even accused prosecutors of misconduct.
They've been fighting this case tooth and nail. So the fact that they are now agreeing to plead guilty is pretty stunning.
Loughlin's decision to plead guilty comes after prosecutors offered a deal allowing her to serve 2 months for conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud, along with paying a $150,000 fine and doing 100 hours of community service. Her husband would serve 5 months, pay $250,000, and perform 250 hours of service.
Prosecutors may have caved here. I would be stunned if the initial offer that Lori Loughlin got was 2 months. It may have paid off that she and he waited until now.
And that deal isn't done yet, though. The judge must still approve it.
Hi.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And thank you for joining us for this afternoon edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your afternoon. I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. I'll have the news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye.